What's going on? It's your girl, Miss O, and we are back for another review with me. And today we are going to get into Real Housewives of Rhode Island. And I'm going to let you guys know now Rullala is the Lulala. So we skipping the intro today, but what we not going to skip is y'all liking the video, subscribing to the channel because I need some followers, and let somebody know I'm over here doing reviews. So it seems like each episode is going to show a montage of the ladies doing whatever. Joellen arrives at Alicia's home, and Joellen expressed that she has lost her grandfather. He was very important to her. He stepped in when her father passed away. He even walked her down the aisle when she got married to Gary, and he was 100 years old. So, with that knowledge, it's still gonna hurt when it's your family member, but 100 years old is 100 years old. And next to arrive at the house, I guess the girls was just getting together poolside to have a little chat because Joellen has been out of town, and also to catch up with their good friend, send their condolences. So Liz arrives. She comes with this beautiful bouquet of flowers. I'm not sure if it was for Alicia or Joellen. We never got that knowledge, but nonetheless, the bouquet was beautiful. And they get their pleasantries out the way. And baby, these ladies do not play about the gossip. They get right to it. So Liz just break out like, Alicia and Rosie got into it. Rosie called Alicia out, and this what was said. She told Joellen that she called her a whore, and she felt sorry about that, but that's just the Rhode Island thing. This all happened because, you know, Rosie was asking questions, and in Alicia in her confessional, she said Rosie took my words and twisted it, and that was like a sensitive subject. Alicia, if it's something sensitive that you do not want to be spoke upon, do not tell these ladies because it's going to get around. Why is having a discussion about Liz's attitude and reaction a sensitive subject? Your problem is Liz is really a good family friend. She's like blood, and you don't want to rift in that relationship. And what I would say with that is, if you do not want to rift in that relationship, shut your goddamn mouth. Also, in her confessional, she said, Rosie, I had your back for so long. And when she first said that, I said, what did you have her back for? Elaborate on it. And basically, I guess she said she was having her back because she was convincing the ladies to get to know her, and, you know, trying to be there as a friend. That's not having somebody back. You're just trying to introduce somebody into your new friend group, and it appears that your new friend group do not care for Rosie. And I can understand why. Alicia said she felt bad for calling Rosie a whore. I don't believe she did because she was very upset. And Alicia said, when I see red, I don't come back. And baby, the comeback that Liz had for her, she said, Sally, unlike anyone else, you come back within seconds. She truly did. I mean, from the edit, it took 2 seconds for real. But then I did find out from last episode who said that Alicia is a flip flopper, and that sounded like that was going to be Kelsey calling Alicia a flip flopper. But anyway, Joella wanted to know if anybody was speaking to her. She asked, was Rosie speaking about me? Was Rullala speaking? Well, she didn't call her Rullala, but was Rulla speaking about me? And both of the ladies, Joelle and both of them ladies, let you know that you was not of importance to be having a conversation about while you were on a work trip. And if those girls were my friends for real, I feel some kind of way. It was just the way they said it. But that's just me personally. Anywho, Liz told Joe Ellen, attacking Ruler right now is kind of a low line fruit, Joe. Excuse me? Can somebody, anybody, explain to me how Joe Ellen is attacking Ruler? Please explain that to me because I don't feel like she's attacking her. I feel like she's bringing this shit to the forefront, and Rullala does not like that. And like Liz said, if Rula and her husband are handling it a different way, just say that. Just say that. But when we get further into the episode, we know that Rullala and Cheater B, because that's what I'm calling him from this day forth, Cheater B, are not handling this situation correctly. Anywho, Joella was visibly upset when Liz was telling her to back up off Rule. Liz did indicate to Joellen, like, look, it's visible that she's going through it, like something is really going on. And Alicia, knowing both of those ladies, could feel the vapors coming off of Joellen while Liz was kind of scolding her about being too rough on Rullala. So she changed the subject real quick, and good job, Alicia. Good job. The ladies get in the pool, and we wrap up that scene. Liz in her confessional said, Ruler said, if you got proof, bring it. Then Ruler said, I feel like Ruler doesn't want to know what's going on, and that she would appreciate Ruler saying that it's none of our business. We handling it in house, and I'll deal with it the way I want to deal with it. After Joellen heard what Liz had to say, she said, I feel bad for her. And they just go into a laughing storm because they genuinely don't feel like Joellen feels bad for her. And honestly, I think she does feel bad for her because she keep pressing the issue about her husband not being faithful to her, because Joellen seemed like a girl's girl. Even when this blow up happened towards the end of the episode, she pulls her to the side and said, I'm not trying to hurt you. We are women, we are mothers, and we need to stand on our own 2 feet. Paraphrasing. I feel like she's trying to be supportive towards Rullala. I don't know what the heck Brian got, what kind of hole Brian Cheater B, because I said I was changing his name. I don't know what kind of hold Cheater B has on Rullala, but it's something. So we move on to the next scene, and the next scene is Kelsey, and it's going to be Kelsey and Ashley. Ashley is getting out without her emotional support animal, Rosie, and she is meeting up with Kelsey at Kelsey's salon in her home. And Kelsey let Ashley know that she's always been doing makeup and hair for proms and pageants and everything. And if she makes the decision to leave her boyfriend, she kind of have a backup plan. I actually think you did a nice job on Ashley's hair. But when Ashley arrives at Kelsey's home, she walks in and she said, holy shit, this house is gorgeous. And it could be the next bachelor's house. Like, the bachelor's house you could fit 2 bachelor house in this house. And otherwise, that's a big ass house. Okay? So they get their pleasantries out the way and they are getting to know one another. Ashley asks, does Kelsey's boyfriend have any children? And we find out that he does, and his children are younger than her. Ma'am, that is a problem. You need to start doing something. You need to start making some moves. Anywho, so while they were getting finished wrapping up their hair appointment, Kelsey goes in and tells Ashley that she's not getting a good vibe from Rosie. She's trying, but Rosie just seems a little fake. And one of the reasons why Kelsey feel this way, she did Rosie's hair, and Rosie did not give her a shout out on Instagram. Now, I don't give a damn about an Instagram shout out or a tag or any of that. I really don't care. But girls her age, in the early 30s, just leaving the 20s, really care about that Instagram like, post, tag, share, all that jizz. Um, I did feel like that Kelsey did have a point because she said that Rosie shouts out everybody else who did her hair and makeup. So Kelsey, you have to evaluate the situation. If she's shouting out everybody that she's came in contact with hair and makeup and didn't shout you out, should you ask her or question her if she liked the service you provided for her, or if she was just being a hater? Now we do have this conversation a little later into the episode, and it really didn't solve anything. Yeah. So in the montage, Rosie was getting the girls together for Jack and Anthony, her gay friends, who were having a party on a boat called Aurora. And it was Jack's birthday party, I believe it was. They were just gonna ride into the water and look at the sunset, get drunk, rich people move. So all the ladies begin to arrive, and Rulla is the last lady to arrive. And she does go over and greet Joellen. Joellen is the first lady that she greets. They have their pleasantries, and Joellen is feeling some kind of way from the loss of her granddad. Rullala does not want to get into the real deal on what's going on in her relationship, and they just agreed to be cordial. Plus, they on a damn boat. Who want to have some drama on a boat in the ocean? Not me. Anywho, the real boat arrives. They get on there, and somebody was letting the flags down, and they fell. And at first, I thought it was one of somebody that was with the Rhode Island Housewives, but it actually was somebody that was working on the boat, and he fell. I think a good gust of wind came and knocked him off his balance. But anyways, Alicia couldn't wait to hear how Rullala was feeling when she seen Joellen, and she said, and it seems that Rulla and Joellen are on the same wavelength right now. Um, but who's going to be the one to f that up? It's going to be Cheater B by way of Joella. But anyway, the boat arrives and they get on the boat, and Rosie and Ashley begin to have a conversation. In the midst of that conversation, Liz come and sit down. She thinks she's interrupting the conversation, but she's just adding on to the conversation. Then Kelsey see Liz go over there with Rosie and Ashley, and she comes over and she gives Rosie a piece of her mind, which kind of sounds childish after listening and looking. Anywho, Rosie don't understand why she isn't received well. I know why you don't not receive well. You seem so artificial. Oh my god, you just seem like you are trying to keep up with the Joneses, and you are not a part of the Joneses. Uh, That's me personally. That's my take on what's going on with you, but that's neither here nor there. Um, I believe that on this boat, Kelsey had a little liquid courage because she brought up what her and Ashley discussed when Ashley came and got her hair done. Kelsey begins to tell her, "You gave me zero credit, da 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 da." And Rosie said, "But we never took any pictures." And that's when I was like, okay, I might feel where Rosie's coming from when she said you are trying to create a problem. You are trying to force chaos, Kelsey. First of all, we're getting into it over a post. I can understand from your perspective, but how you know those wouldn't pay advertisements that Rosie was paid to promote? One. Two, you didn't even take no pictures of your work for Rosie to receive as you sending them to her to post, to tag you in or anything. So how are you gonna get upset with her when you ain't do your portion of a job that you wanted? Answer that for me. But anywho, Alicia again trying to dead the drama comes on and see that the drama is starting and she said, hey, let's play a game. But she don't know how to play no games and she don't got no games to play. She was just trying to dismantle the mess that was starting to happen because we are all in close quarters on this boat in the water. Stop it. I feel you, Alicia. So where we at? During that little fight, Rosie said you never took any pictures, and Kelsey fires back and said it doesn't matter. And that's when my perspective of this situation changed. So Rosie tells us in a confessional that she recently paid Kelsey to do her hair and makeup because she was trying to be nice. And she believes that Kelsey is trying to find a reason to be mad at her. And with this situation, I might have to agree with you, Rosie, but you're so damn nosy. I don't know. Kelsey said it's about support. I kind of agree with that, but also Kelsey, if you did not take the pictures, how she's going to support you? If it was in a paid advertisement, which she stated that she paid you, how are you mad? I just want to answer to that question. Anywho, Rosie said if you would have asked, I would have done it. Case closed. That's how we're gonna wrap up that. Rosie, I hope at the reunion you are ready for this kind of beatdown that you're gonna receive because you said, I know you use people for everything, but you're not allowed to use me for clout. What? Fill me in, girl. But Ashley apologizes to Rosie on behalf of Kelsey. Ashley, why you do that? These are grown women. You do not have to apologize on behalf of Kelsey. And I don't think you was intentionally apologizing on behalf of Kelsey, but that is how it's going to look. What you should have said was, I apologize that this boat situation isn't working. But Kelsey cries. Rosie cries as per usual. Good thing Ashley didn't join in with her and cry. And we wrap that scene up. Next up, we meet up with Liz and Gary, and they walk on the deck for one last time because Gary has decided to sell his boat, which is called the Gypsy. And in the confessional, Liz is just reminiscing on all the good memories that her and Gary had on the Gypsy, and she is going to miss it. But the time has come for him to get rid of the boat because they have a new chapter in their life. Their daughter is 18 weeks pregnant, ready to have a baby, and they are embarking on what it's like to be grandparents now. From what I can tell, Liz has a love hate relationship with the boat Gypsy because before Gary purchased this boat to do boat fishing, they were stuck together like Velcro. And all of a sudden, he developed a passion for something, and she felt left behind, essentially. And she felt confused. She didn't know what was going on. And I am sorry to hear that, Liz, but you guys have decided to work through all of that, and a new chapter is arise, and y'all just be good grandparents to the new grandbaby. But we move on to the next scene, which is Joe Ellen, and Joe Ellen had invited Rullala out for a drink. because she really wanted to sit down with her and discuss this whole mistress cheater B. Is it happening? Is it still happening? Crap going on. So this scene is probably the best scene on the episode, but it's like a 1A, 1B with the last scene of the episode. So Joellen starts the conversation. I don't have anything against you. I really don't. It's more towards him. Him is Cheater B. She doesn't like what Cheater B is out here doing to her. And Rulla says, this is not still going on, Joe Ellen. Joe Ellen fires back and say, yes, it is. Excuse me. Rulla says, wide-eyed bushy tail. She knows her husband very well. And I put in my notes, well, how well do you know him? You know, allegedly, I heard he put a tracker on you. Anywho. So she says she knows her husband very well, and if he's trying to pull a wool over her eyes, she would like to know. And Joellen said, I think he is. I think so. I think so. So we find out Joellen knows the lady. I don't want to keep calling her a mistress because that lady has a name. I don't like how she is aiding in this courtship with this married man. But hey, everybody do what they want to do. So we found out that Joella know this lady. Their children went to the same daycare together. And she shows Rulla the texts between the lady and Cheater B. Oh my God. Rullala is Delulala. This lady said, this lady is crazy. It's almost like a fatal attraction. She's using AI generated text messages, making up fake numbers. I know this because Brian told me so. Rulla, Brian is going to tell you anything to get you to shut up. I seriously cannot believe that you're okay with aiding in this delusion that Brian is feeding to you. Like, it's very disheartening to see a woman of your caliber that has the financial freedom that you do, who looks the way that she looks, let this little oompa loompa treat her like this. I can't believe it. Rolling back into it. So Joe Ellen is firing off. Rulla is trying to prove her case, and Joe Ellen is just shooting her down left and right. Rulla says, I got a tracker. Not once has he ever slept out of the house. Joe Ellen said, okay, but he's at her house every morning bringing her coffee. He is. Rulla says, he's at the gym every morning. Joe Ellen, at this point, we knew that Rulla was the Lulu. That lady said that man be at the gym. Joellen said, do it look like Ryan be at the gym? The way I fell out my bed? Because the way I had to suppress the laughter because the kids was asleep. I mean, come on. Brian do not look like he be at no damn gym. Rulla, you're crazy. But Rulla thinks he's at the gym. I don't see how. Rulla said, I will hope as females. Rulla, why you use that word? I will hope as ladies. I will hope as women. We will look out for each other. And Joellen said, that's what I'm trying to do. And in my notes, I said, seriously, what do you think she's trying to do? She's trying to come to you woman to woman, and she's not even the other woman. She knows the other woman, and she's trying to make sure that you're not out here looking stupid. Something that your husband don't have enough respect for you to do. Girl, the way Brian ass would have been cut up if he was my man. I'm sorry. You're not about to play with me. You really not about to play with me in these streets. If you don't want to be with this lady, figure out how to co-parent properly with your children and leave her alone. You should not be dragging this lady like this. We moving on. Jolyn said in her confession, I don't like when people make me look like an asshole and a liar. She was raised by a mama who didn't believe in the truth. She's sitting right in front of a lady and experiencing that same thing. And when she feel like she got to prove somebody wrong, she gonna go at it. And I'll put in my notes, Miss Joellen, what's your sign? What's your sign? What's your zodiac sign? Cause you sure sound like a Virgo to me. Cause when we know something that is factual and we have factual proof, baby, we're gonna throw it up in your face out there. Because you're not about to have me out here looking like I don't know what the fuck I am talking about. Moving along. Rulla said that this lady has Joellen duped and she is a home wrecker. And you know what? They wrap up that scene with that conversation and we move on to the next one, which is Rosie having a call with Ashley. And she lets Ashley know that Alicia invited her to a polo match. She said that, Ashley really want to be in with the it girl. So she's going to throw herself in the lion's den and see what happens. She said, what can go wrong? A lot. A confrontation with a husband who's a cheater, a lot. But Ashley said everything should be fine. Enjoy yourself because her and her husband are on a work cruise. So we move on to the next scene, and this is Alicia and Billy. They are meeting up at Angelo's, and this is a family restaurant ran by Billy, his mother, and his sister. And I believe they came there to get some little travel food to go because they rented a bus for them to travel to the polo match. And as they're getting the food ordering and packed up, everyone starts arriving. Kelsey arrives with Billy. Kelsey says every time there's an event or a social event going on with her friends, her boyfriend does not seem to want to participate. But Billy here is so eager to prance her around and show her off. One of the other content creators that I watch, hey LTV Productions, think you have a rent a boyfriend. And I'm starting to agree with him. I think you have a rent a boyfriend. There is nothing wrong with that if that is what you have going on. But don't sit up here and play in our face like what y'all got going on is for real. We're going to be honest about that. Anywho, Rulla and Cheater B arrives, and they are the last couple to arrive because Liz and Gary arrives. Um, Rosie arrives without her husband, but he is going to meet her there. And then Rullala and Cheater B arrives. They mix and mingle, and lo and behold, Cheater B gets a phone call. He steps over to the side. He takes the phone call. It doesn't look urgent, but he says it's urgent. His mother is being hauled away by ambulance um, for some medical reason. We never got what the medical reason is. It really don't matter if it is the truth. But deeper in the scene, we find out it may be a lie. Anywho, I put in my notes, I feel like he faked that call. We found out that he may have faked that call because he wanted to meet up with his mistress. But I believe he faked that call because he didn't want to be on a bus with those other couples because their marriage was going to be in a hot seat. So they all load up, they get to drinking, they pre-gaming. They eating and drinking, they pre-gaming. So Liz calls Rullala and asks her, what's going on? Is the mom okay? Da 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 da. Rulla says, I'm going to see if we can make it. Brian's not here right now. He's with his mom at the hospital. And my thoughts were, Brian's at the hospital with his mom, but you're not with Brian at the hospital with his mom? Are you close with his parents, or he just don't give a damn? He gon' disrespect you in your face, but not in your face. I don't know. I need some answers. Anywho, while they was wrapping up the call with Rullala, you know, Joellen was being pleasant. And Alicia was like, "Aren't you kind with your words?" And Gary cheers and say, "Kind with your words. Aren't you kind today?" Yeah, she's kind with her words. And Joellen immediately after Liz hangs up with Rulla, Joellen gets a text from our homegirl, who is homegirls with the mistress, and it takes her breath away, and she audibly gasps, and everybody on the bus said, "What? What's going on? Tell us." And then she says, "A friend of a friend texted me and said that Brian is trying to meet up with the mistress right now." Just, Liz think it's a crock of bullshit. Liz said, I'm gonna need some proof of what you talking about. You are going to have to show me proof. So we arrive at the polo match. We find out that Rosie is going to do a coin toss. She does the coin toss, and they're getting drinks and walking around. And Rulla and Cheetah B does show back up. Everybody is concerned about Cheetah B's mom. Everyone, excuse me. Everyone is asking how she doing. Is she okay? Yada yada yada. And then Joe Ellen and Kelsey have a little side conversation because Joe Ellen was talking to Rosie, asking her what was going on with the renovations for the house. And it sounded like Rosie was giving her a whole lot of bullshit. That's what it sounded like. So they were conversing, and it was just sounding like what Joellen had heard or knew wasn't what Kelsey knew or heard, and they both just think that she's a fake. Well, I'm not gonna say both of them think. Kelsey thinks she's a fake wannabe. So they're all in the pool in a circle. The ladies are admiring Rulla's wedding ring, and it's a beautiful, gorgeous wedding ring. It's a big ass rock. So Kelsey has it on her finger. She runs over to the group of guys, which consists of Gary, Joe Ellen's husband. No, Gary, Liz's husband, Cheater B, and Billy, Kelsey's friend. So she comes over there. She shows them. Billy, like, where you get that from? Who ring is that? It's Rulla's. So Cheater B says, "I can hook you up. I know a jeweler." This was the perfect segue for Kelsey to dog whistle some bullshit, and it's not really bullshit. Just to start some drama. She said, "Where's your ring? Where's your ring, Brian?" She to be first he said, mine's is in the car. He says, "I was putting some gel in my son's hair this morning, so I took it off and I put it in my pocket." Kelsey couldn't wait to go over there and deliver the news. So while Liz and Joellen chilling, she get a ding on her Instagram, and 2 hours ago, the mistress had posted a picture of her and Brian in a car, and her in Brian's car. They got the red interior. Brian, cheater B. Why you gotta do this lady like that? Now why you gotta go and do it like that? Come on now. But Willa is delusional. She likes the grandeur of delusion. So I'm gonna hop off this train. I'm not even gonna worry about it no more because it looked like she about to drive Joellen crazy, and I don't want to be in the crazy box with none of them. Anywho, I put in my notes. Liz, you said you wanted proof. The mistress posted a pic from Cheater B's car. Is that enough proof? And I really think that was enough proof. Again, I put in my notes. Joe Ellen, what is your sign? What is your zodiac sign, girl? Because she give us a whole timeline, baby. And we about to break it down. She said at 1:15, we load on the bus. Rulla and Cheetah B was the last to get on, and they proceed to tell us that they need to leave. Okay. 1:58, Liz called Rulla, and we find out that Brian is not with Rulla. He's supposed to be with his mama. 1:59, immediately after she hangs up with Rulla, Liz hangs up with Rulla. Joellen gets the text later on. Brian Mistress posts those pictures, and Brian and Ruella shows back up at the polo match at 5:15. Mm, that sounds like a good timeline to me. Anywho, Liz asks Joellen to go get a drink because Liz can't live with this no more. She got to get this out in the open, and everybody is just tired because we all running in these circles, and the ladies got to deal with the ladies, and the men got to deal with the men. Now, Cheater B, if you're cheating, how do you think the ladies are going to feel when their husbands are with you? They may suspect that they are doing the same thing that you are doing. It's just a bad look. Then, from the ladies' perspective, how I'm gonna hang with a chick that knows that her husband is cheating and lying to us to try to save face instead of just telling us to mind our goddamn business. Anyway, I put in my notes. I said, "Oh shit, it's about to go down. It's happening right now." So they all run. Everybody trying to get Brian attention. Brian knows what's about to come because he over there trying to talk to the men to see if he can get the men on his side. Talk about, we dealt with this. Everybody has their issues. We went through these problems. This is old news. Bullshit. Bull. So then he goes and says, "We're not doing this on camera." Well, where are we doing it at? Because the mistress is doing it on Instagram. Let us know. Let us know what's going on. So after Brian try to whisk Rullala away, talking about we're not doing this on camera, Joellen pulls Rulla to the side. And I really feel like that Joellen was trying to have a heart to heart with Rulla and express to her that I really don't think this is cool. This is crock of bullshit. And you are a mother. I'm a mother. We're women. Like, this is not cool. This is not what your husband should be doing. And Rulla, she is absolutely correct. Your husband should not be out here disrespecting you like that. And clearly, you don't have his mistress under his his rule of thumb, because she's out here knowingly posting pictures. So maybe he is asking her to post these pictures to get you upset to leave, because that's what one of the texts said. And at this point, I'm starting to believe that's what that was. Anyway, Liz is tired of Rulla's delusional ways. And she's like, "Look, you know, am I happy about how Joellen is keep pressing the gas? But what we're not going to do is blame her when there's stuff out here that needs an answer." So that wraps up the end of the episode. Like I said, we are 5 episodes in, and I am loving Rhode Island. They are giving me the fashions, they are giving me the glam, they are giving me the houses, they are giving me the drama, and the husbands is here to stay and play. This is the franchise that you guys need to be watching. But with that being said, if you made it to the end of this video, please drop me a green heart. Jump in the comments and have some Discord with me. Tell me what you guys are thinking about these ladies. For this episode, I'm going to give this a high A. I'm not going to give it an A plus. This is because I'm getting tired of the montages, and I'm kind of getting tired with the cliffhanger endings. I would like for y'all to kind of wrap it up so we can move to the next scene. But nonetheless, The Real Housewives of Rhode Island, we're 5 episodes in? I may have to say this is probably my favorite of the franchise. I'm not gonna lie. But that is it. That is all. I'm your girl, Miss O, and this is what I had to say about Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Love you guys.